So this is the latest attempt to do a broadcast because of the internet connection disruptions. The broadcasts have been interrupted during the last 4 hours. So we don't know whether this one will work. We'll try. The Sun today has got a two-page item. This is Saturday, the 21st of January, 2023. And the Sun has got victims' hell at hands of rape fiend Haque. It's the Metropolitan Police. And the woman says, cop used me as slave and said, I am the police. He seemed to enjoy making me feel small. The police could have stopped him 20 years ago. And there is an apparent, this is phone calls. I think he said, you do as I tell you. Who am I? And then he says, my slave. Show me your face. Cleaning and sex. Don't worry about cleaning next week. You've annoyed me. Have a week off? What have I done? Disobedience. You are lazy. Don't think so. I worked my butt off this week. You pissed me off. Now, cause you didn't listen? And so on. So this is the story is by Julia Atherley and Mike Sullivan. A woman has told how sex beast cop David Carrick forced her to clean his house naked during 4 years of horrific abuse. She recalled how he treated her like a slave, and when she threatened to report him to police, the fiend replied, I am the police. For years, the victim, who cannot be named for legal reasons, thought she was the only one Carrick, 48, had raped and tortured. She was too scared to tell anyone what was happening and only felt safe to report her hell after news broke of his arrest in October 2021 and she saw his face on television. Sadistic Carrick was nicked after another female victim bravely reported him to the police. And this is 2 pages. It's impossible to read. And the Formula One Barney Ecclestone in court on 400 million tax rap. And the Sun still has got Jeremy Clarkson's column. So the attempted references to the comment that K. Jordan had made about a woman called Lucy Rogers. Lucy Rogers had attended most of the Khoodeelaar campaign events. So it was natural that when the campaign was successful and the Crossrail Hole plot was stopped, she would make a comment. But K. Jordan said that Lucy Rogers never made a single comment. This was not just an isolated incident that K. Jordan pointed out. Lucy Rogers has remained silent to a list of allegations that have been made to her in writing about the various interruptions and sabotage that she has actually carried out. So, what we are doing here on this program is to put it on the record that Lucy Rogers will be held liable for the losses and the damages that have been caused by her behavior, her actions. We don't know whether she was acting on her own or she was just a front for an organization or a power. So the questions include these. Why did she insist on traveling to the Clerkenwell County Court during 2011 in a taxi? She did that on several occasions. She had never needed to do that before, and she had never done that since. Why did she prevent me from talking to Lucy Green during the break in the hearing in December? Was it November 2011 at the Clerkenwell County Court? That break I would have used to instruct the solicitor accordingly. Lucy Rogers took me to a cafe for a lunch I didn't ask for. So, who had orchestrated that? Why did she arrive at the barrister Edward Fitzpatrick's chambers in the Lincoln's Inn Fields, where I was supposed to be having the conference with him and the solicitor, not with Lucy present? Why had she arrived there before the meeting, and what authority did Lucy Rogers have to discuss anything about my case with Edward Fitzpatrick in my absence? Why did Lucy Rogers insist on making a transcript of the phone call with the Tower Hamlets Community Housing? And why did she give this so-called transcript without my consent, approval, agreement, permission whatsoever to Edward Fitzpatrick? Why did she make a comment at all during my conversation with Edward Fitzpatrick about Nelson Gardens? I had not asked her to make that comment. I would never authorize her ever to make that comment or any comment whatsoever. So these are the questions that will be among the liabilities that Lucy Rogers would be held accountable for. And these are the things that are actually part of the context of the question that was raised by K. Jordan, saying that Lucy Rogers was the only one who had not commented on the outcome of the Khoodeelaar campaign that was successfully concluded after the government dropped the Crossrail Hole project plotted for Brick Lane. When during the Crossrail Bill hearing, K. Jordan was giving evidence, and I was sitting behind in the public gallery, I noticed that there was something that I needed to tell K. Jordan to include in her presentation. I made a note and I passed it to Lucy because she was sitting nearer K. Jordan, behind her. Instead of giving it to K. Jordan, Lucy Rogers gave it to the police. The policeman sat next to her, but the policeman didn't pass that note to K. Jordan. That meant that K. Jordan was prevented from, denied, and deprived of a very serious piece of strategic evidential contribution. Why did Lucy Rogers do that? Did she think that I had written something that was incriminating? If she did that, why did she think that? When I told her that the post office in Houndsditch was better than the post office near Lucy Rogers' home, because the post counter person behind the counter in the post office near the Lucy Rogers home was a mental slave and would not behave properly with me because he was an Asian and he was a mentally internalized mental slave. Lucy Rogers told me that that was not true because she was treated nice by him always. Now, Lucy Rogers was not me. So, why did she assume that she was in my position in a racist society? Why did she do that? Now, these are samples of the sabotage acts that Lucy Rogers has done. Who appointed her to sabotage this campaign? And who appointed her to interfere with the legal action? As I said, I have made a number of allegations against her in writing and she has not replied. She needs to fully, openly, transparently reply, truthfully. When I asked her about the racist behavior of an internet service provider, she ignored the racist content of the behavior and did the wrong thing about the particular communication. Why did she do that? Now, Lucy Rogers' behavior is the typical spying behavior that she was suspected of. She was told to her face in 2006 by Annetta Pedretti that she, Lucy Rogers, was a spy. This is something that Annetta Pedretti said in public just during the demonstration that we had in June 2006 outside the Palace of Westminster. Lucy Rogers admitted that she had been posting comments under a bogus name, a name that she assumed of a man, to Khoodeelaar campaign online posts. She never said it was her, but I knew that it was her. And I said to her in front of K. Jordan in October 2010 in K. Jordan's office. And K. Jordan immediately told me when Lucy Rogers was not there that you got her. Now, how is it that Lucy Rogers assumed that she was cleverer than me? Who gave her the confidence to interfere with my work, my campaign, and my relationship with the criminals of the Tower Hamlets Community Housing and Tower Hamlets Council? This is the bit that we shall end here. We will not add any other aspect, any other updates. This will be for Lucy Rogers and it shall be part of the evidence.